Remember at the reunion, I hardly said anything.
Yeah.
The first reason is that I was scared. I felt threatened, because at breakfast, we didn't say that then, but at breakfast, remember what Viv said? He said he's got 10 million set aside for whoever comes for his wife. I get that.
Yeah.
But he sort of like threatened us. So immediately, if I were to say anything to Sorisha at the time, coming for her, obviously, that means I was going to be up next.
Yo guys, during the reunion of last season, I wondered why Neil actually came to the reunion just to apologize and leave immediately. But with this current episode of season 5 that just filmed yesterday, I was able to gain clarity to that whole effect, even though there were narrative flying up on social media that he was threatened to apologize and leave. But this episode shed more light to that effect, and I'm here to give you all the details. But before we go right into it, you're welcome to Trends View. If this is your first time here, kindly click the subscribe button and turn on your post notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my updates. And guys, remember to give this video a thumbs up. Now, the season starts off with Nonku praying and inviting the Holy Spirit to have his way in this entire season. I'm big on prayers, yes. But coming from Nonku, okay, because she always has this tendency to spike some things, but the season is still new, it's still fresh. We'll see how that pans out. Now, the next thing we see, Calvin and Jojo goes to Stone Heaven, where they plan to have their vow renewal ceremony, and then they talk about the guest list, and Jojo was seeking advice from her boo-bae regarding the people that she wants to invite, because she actually wants to invite the ladies to the ceremony, but she doesn't know how to go about it, being that firstly she and Sorisha hadn't spoken in a year. There are people in that group like they haven't seen each other in a year, but to her, inviting them is more like an extending an olive branch. And also she hated the group separation and the rift between her and Sorisha, especially because Sorisha was the one that brought Jojo into this group of women. And Viv and Calvin, that's Sorisha's husband and Jojo's husband, they're like business partners, and they are involved in many businesses. And Calvin hated the fact that his wife Jojo had an issue with Sorisha. Come on, who wouldn't hate it? It doesn't sit well. Imagine that you're having a business plan, or you're a partner with somebody, and then your wife is at loggerheads with the wife of that person. It doesn't just send a good narrative. Now, why Calvin and Jojo were on their own end discussing everything, Sorisha and Viv were speaking about everything as well, everything that happened last year, and this is where we gained some clarity. So now it turns out that Viv and Sorisha were in Johannesburg during the reunion, yes, and during the time when they had to go for breakfast, according to what Sorisha explained, they turned around and then they didn't see Viv. It happened that Viv went over to the table where Jojo, Zama, Maria, Neil and Calvin were sitting, and said to them that he will use every legal resource he has to make sure there's justice brought to his wife. That's provided that he got out there and apologized. So now I'm thinking this is the reason why Neil actually went to apologize, because to me, yes, when I watched that reunion, that apology was not like, it wasn't an apology. When you apologize to somebody, you have to apologize for the things you did, for the things you said, and then you have to wait so that this person you apologize to will give you feedback. And come to think of it, Maria was a whole lot last season. I'm so glad that she didn't make it back to this current season, because I don't know how it would have panned out. I don't know the beef Maria has with Sorisha at this moment. What's the deal? So, I'm like, okay, so this is it. And some people were saying, oh, that they were threatened to not say anything, to, that if they antagonize Sorisha at the reunion, they were threatened they may face a lawsuit. But if you come to think of it, any man, yes, that is married to the woman that he really, really loves and adores, you can't just come on international television and then exclaim that somebody is a... It won't go down well with any man that cherishes his wife. And what I see from Viv and Sorisha's relationship, they love each other. Viv loves Sorisha irrespective. A video was shown where Viv at an event, a conference, something like that, with President Ramaphosa, that Viv defended his wife Sorisha and also urged people to support their wife and defend their wife. This is what everybody would do. Even Calvin agrees to that. Why he was talking with Jojo, he said, because if anybody talks about Jojo in that light, that people would get hurt. They will get hurt. He will feel bad. That is what every man would do. Every good husband would do. For you to talk down on somebody's wife and then the husband doesn't feel that angry or anything, it means that the man probably does not love you, does not like you to that point, does not cherish you. During Jojo's confessionals, she mentioned it that if she was the one that was spoken about in such light, that Calvin, it may not even end at just lawsuits. So while Calvin and Jojo were still at the stone house, Calvin called Sorisha, against Jojo's choice, because she wasn't ready and wasn't in the right frame of mind to speak to Sorisha then. But then we know that there can never be a wrong or right time for such conversations to come up. And the communication happened, and surprisingly, it went on smoothly. Jojo took responsibility for her actions and asked for them to meet so that they fix things up. And positively enough, Sorisha and Jojo, they are on the same page, because Sorisha feels like Jojo owes her an apology, and she also feels like she owes Jojo an apology. You get? And they needed to sort things out. To be honest, I'm loving Jojo's growth on this episode. The next scene comes with Kwanele Kubeka making an entrance in the show. Angel and Kubeka are actually meeting up at Salt Rock, and Angel invited her to Jojo's vow renewal ceremony, and this is where she gets to meet with the other ladies. About this scene, I totally loved what Angel did. It proved that Angel has matured and wants Kubeka to experience the ladies for herself and not form any narrative based off on her own or other people's opinion and perspective. Because with this group of ladies, you tend to tilt towards the person that brought you. The opinion of that person is what you hold on to. But it's good for you to introduce someone, let that person experience them for themselves, and let them generate their own perspective based off on what they are seeing, and not based off on your opinion or other people's opinion about them. Next, we see Jojo and Sorisha meet up at the Salt Rock, and they ironed out their differences. They both took accountability, expressed their sadness, and apologized to each other, which is actually a good thing, because I feel like they both owed each other an apology. Now we get to see Nonku in her confessionals saying that there are certain things her spirit refuses to do. Example being intimate with a man. Nonku, Nonku, yeah. Wow. Okay, but then we all know Nonku. Let's just wait and see how everything is going to pan out. That she has repented of all her sins. Let's see. So while she was at that, Jojo put a call across to her, telling her about her meeting with Sorisha and her wanting to chat with her. And Nonku said that she really doesn't want to do anything negative at the moment. And I'm like, girl, at your first appearance, you said that if there are a relationship that needs to be mended, you mend it. Now an opportunity has come up for you to mend one, and you're saying this. Darling, you need to free your heart. Free your heart. Anyways, she went to talk to her sister about it. Next thing that blew me off was her sister saying that since Sorisha is friends with Slee, if Nonku makes peace with Sorisha, she will have to make peace with Slee. And I'm like, are you encouraging Nonku's behavior at this moment? Because there's something called making peace and being cordial. You can make peace with somebody and be cordial with them. It doesn't mean that you guys are cool or you guys are friends now. But make peace and be cordial. That's it. Anyways, during Jojo's dress fitting, Jojo was trying to fill Nonku in on what Sorisha is likely to bring up that upsets her, and that's Nonku calling Sorisha a but Nonku denied it. Nonku said that she's standing on 10 toes, that she never called Sorisha. And kudos to production because they came with receipts. They moved to the previous season where Nonku had indeed insinuated that maybe Sorisha has been and here Nonku was denying it. I'm like, production, well done. I like I like how you people always bring receipts when needed, because someone that doesn't know will just believe, oh yeah, she never did. The next season comes with Lo making her appearance. Sorisha went to pick her up because they've known each other for 3 years and they knew each other through London. Yes, according to what Lo said. So Sorisha needed some backup plan, backup, somebody to be there with her and for her. According to her, if you're walking into a lion's den, you need backup. So Lo was a +1 to Jojo's vow renewal ceremony. The final scene of episode 1 happened. It was Jojo and Calvin's vow renewal. The ladies met up and Angel, Sorisha, Lo, Kubeka were seated discussing everything that happened last year. You could tell that Kubeka and Lo was lost. They didn't know what was going on. So at the point, yes, Nonku joined them and asked about what they were discussing. That's when Sorisha mentioned about people being called a slut. And I'm like, okay. I don't know how to feel about this particular scene because I don't think it was the right time for Sorisha to bring it up, But on a second thought, there could never be a right or wrong time. Even though she brought it up in that group, I think that they both still need to sit down and have a private discussion about that. And guys, with the snippet of what was shown that is going to happen this season, remember in my previous video I told you that I envision Lo and Nonku having an altercation. Guys, okay, and I think there are also breakups that are happening this season. Just stay tuned, and let me know your thoughts on this episode that just aired yesterday in the comment section. What do you think about Nonku's reaction? Do you think that Nonku should be open-minded, just like I feel she should, and see things from Sorisha's perspective? Because at this point, Jojo has come to understand things. Her husband has explained things to her, so she has come to understand things from that perspective. So, what do you think? Do you think Nonku is being extra? And let me know your thoughts about the new cast members. So, guys, until my next video, bye.